evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, Tullahoma Alderman had the first reading of the new budget. Motlow has a tuition freeze for the second year in a row, and Manchester is inviting people to come paint the Manchester Arts Center. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
MacArthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at MacArthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at MacArthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
There's a lot of talk about the risks associated with the COVID-19 vaccine, but the reality is, it's safer than going for a run. Give it a shot. Find a free appointment today at covid19.tn.gov.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back at this week's special call meeting of the Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Aldermen. It was the first reading of the new budget. In this segment, we see City Administrator Jennifer Moody speaking about what's actually in that budget.
Just to supplement my presentation from our last regular meeting, this is a list of maybe some of the more detailed items that might not be as visible to you as you look through the budget ordinance. First and foremost, our priority, I think, this year has been to respond to the significant rise in the cost of living and make sure that we are taking care of those employees that truly carry out the services that we provide to the citizens. And so as a part of this proposed budget, there's a cost of living adjustment and of 5% and an annual step increase, as we have always funded since the pay plan was adopted in 2016. And then according to best practices, when you look at your pay plan, you should do a full compensation study every 5 years to make sure that the increases that you're giving along are staying competitive with the market. And so in the human resources section of the budget, you'll see we have provided funding for a full compensation study. Our second priority is to continue providing and even enhance our excellent services. Some of the things I've highlighted for you are that we've increased our training budget for the Tullahoma Police Department. We also have enhanced the fire department. Now we're heading into our 4th year of an advanced EMT incentive program. As you've seen, especially I know when you look at our monthly reports, you see how over 80% of our calls are medical calls, and they're an increasing percent of what our fire department's responding to in terms of emergencies. And Chief Pearson just let me know, currently we have 9 advanced EMTs, all as a result of this incentive program, and 12 EMTs. So we are funding that again. We will be implementing Office 365 fully this budget year, and we're adding a new position of IT support specialist. This is not a new funded position. I'm actually thankful to our finance director. With her staff, she's had a vacancy that she's going to leave unfilled and allow me to transfer that funding to hire this IT specialist that will help all the city departments and support them. So we're excited to do that in this budget. 2 other changes in net positions. Public Works requested, they requested just 1 full-time person that would be split 50-50 between recycling and cemetery. What we decided to do instead is provide that funding, but then also transfer part-time salaries to make that 2 full-time positions, 1 full-time in cemetery maintenance and 1 full-time in recycling, which I think better fits our actual needs. So that will be a positive. We've increased funding to support more rabies vaccinations at our animal shelter. They also asked for a mower and weed eater so that they could do their own maintenance around the facility and not have to rely on Public Works or park staff to come to the animal shelter. We have increased funding for street sign replacements. We actually did that in this current year budget, but we're maintaining that higher level of funding going into next year, so I wanted to make sure that you knew about that. And then we've increased funding for more recreational programming at both community centers. We have hired Aaron White. I don't know if all of you have met him yet, but he's our program coordinator working out of both community centers. And we are currently advertising for an athletics coordinator to help run our leagues. Priority number 3 is supporting job creation, new business development, land development, and a vibrant economy. We'll do that this budget year by adopting a 5-year capital improvement plan. That'll come to you shortly after adoption of the budget. And you've already approved a spending plan, but that capital improvement plan will include the spending plan for the rescue dollars. We are increasing the Tourism Council and Downtown Council's budgets from $15,000 to $20,000 each. And we're anticipating hotel motel tax growth that will increase contributions to tourism and cultural organizations by 10% in this budget. So I think they should be very pleased with that.
We'll be right back with the second part of the budget plans after these messages.
I am tremendously blessed to be living at Parkview and very happy to be part of a loving and caring community.
Best thing you can say is this really a great place to live. That's all there is to it, no doubt about that.
It's your home. You just do what you would if you were at your private home. You know, we love it. It's great.
It's just like having a whole neighborhood around you, and it's fun.
It's just a great place to live.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. We now return to the second half of the new Tullahoma City budget proposal, and also when Alderman Berry proposes increasing the employees' raises beyond the initial proposal.
We'll also be beginning our first year of implementation of the comprehensive land use plan upon its adoption just here in a few short weeks. And we have had a reorganization in Parks and Recreation. One of the things it did is create a full-time city forester position, and we've increased the budget for the Memorial Tree Program. It's had a lot of renewed interest here in the last year or so we increased that. And then I just named some other highlights for you. I think everyone's really pleased to hear that there's no proposed property tax rate increase in this budget. We have been so fortunate to see our tax base grow by 2.3%, I think is the exact number, Sue. And because of that growth and because of our continued sales tax growth, we're able to offer a lower property tax rate. So Coffee County and Franklin County both went through the reappraisal process this year, and the state has recommended a new tax rate 47 cents lower than it is today. It's close to a 20% decrease. So I think we can celebrate that. I wanted to point out to you that in this budget ordinance, you don't see a list of capital projects, but those will be presented to you in detail for second reading. Also, just some across-the-board increases. We did look at cost of fuel across the board and put a 20% increase. We increased anywhere in any of the departments where we're buying chemicals, uniforms, repair parts for vehicles or equipment. Our utility bills are anticipated to be up about 5%. We also are looking at a 3% increase in the cost of solid waste disposal. You'll see that under landfill costs, and anticipating 8.6% higher cost for mulching and grinding of brush. If you remember, we're currently advertising for those bids.
We opened bids today.
Okay, so we'll look at, I guess for second reading, if 8.6% is enough. Also, I always like to remind you, we have been designated, Tullahoma is a Great American Defense Community. And as a part of that, we've been invited to a reception and conference out in Phoenix, Arizona. So we put money in the budget for some members to be able to send a good contingency of people out to Phoenix for that event. And then I am very proud to say this is something that Sue Wilson and I have kind of collaborated on and wanted to do a better job of upfront funding of some vehicles and equipment in the budget. Many times we've taken the approach that we haven't funded any vehicles or equipment at this time of the year. We've waited until about 4 or 5 months of actual revenues are received and then come back in and amended the budget to fund it at that time. But I put a list here of some of the major items that we're going to be able to fund as of July 1st. A lot of equipment for the police department, including replacement of 3 patrol vehicles. That's the minimum that we try to replace every year. The fire department, I really appreciate their work. They have a lot of expensive pieces of equipment, and they do a good job of breaking that up into 3 or 4 or 5 year programs to help us be able to afford the replacement. So we're starting the first year of a 3-year replacement of their turnout gear in this budget. We have AED units at all city facilities and on all fire apparatus, but now we're looking to add 4 additional units to the administration vehicles. That's in this budget. We've put $60,000 aside for new equipment at our community centers, so that could be fitness to replace fitness equipment and other items. $60,000 for public works vehicle replacements. And wanted to draw your attention, we have set aside $300,000 in the building reserve to get started with repairs to this municipal building. So I'll have to put together a proposal and bring you more details on that in the future.
I'm going to go ahead and motion to amend the budget to include an 8.5 cost of living, and pull that out of reserves.
Okay, we have a motion. We need a second.
Over here.
Is everyone clear on the motion? Alderman Blackwell.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And we vote green for the approval of that amendment and red for no. Vote green for approval on the first reading. Red for disapproval on the first reading. And that passes 6-0.
More news is coming up in a moment.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Welcome back. The Tennessee Higher Education Commission decided not to increase tuition costs for Motlow State Community College and other Tennessee public institutions for students in the fall. According to the Tennessee Higher Education Commission, the decision to freeze tuition is the first time the group has done that in its history. However, this is the second year with no tuition increase at Motlow. Motlow Vice President of External Affairs, Dr. Terry Bryson, said, quote, Motlow acknowledges the financial hardships faced by students and their families due to the pandemic and rising inflation cost. Not increasing tuition during this time is encouraging news for potential and current students. With the recent increase to the Pell Grant, Tennessee Promise, and Tennessee Reconnect, attending Motlow has never been more affordable, end quote. Governor Bill Lee and other state lawmakers approved a $90 million investment in the state's higher education budget, making the tuition freeze possible. Motlow's Executive Vice President for Business and Finance, Hilda Turnstill, said, quote, one of the college's main objectives is to assist students in graduating Motlow with little or no debt using the programs that the state provides for students if eligible, end quote. Motlow's tuition is also an advantage for students making tough decisions regarding quality secondary education options. The average cost of tuition and fees is approximately $10,000 per year at public universities, according to the Tennessee Higher Education Commission, and a little less than half that at community and technical colleges. The college helps students financially in more ways than low tuition. However, they're providing an above average return on college investment. Motlow supports students financially through open education resource courses, eliminating the cost of textbooks. Motlow consistently ranks as one of the top performing colleges in Tennessee. You can explore Motlow's options and chart a path with the support and resources right for you. Fall classes start on August the 22nd. Anyone interested can find out more at their website at motlow.edu. The Tennessee Department of Health is encouraging parents and caregivers to visit the Tennessee WIC website at tn.gov/health for important information on the infant formula shortage that is impacting many people in our state and across the country. Angie Faulkner, Bedford County Health Department Director, said, quote, we know that infant formula shortage is a scary time for parents and caregivers, but our staff is here to help, and there are several helpful resources available, end quote. A substitution list of nutritionally equivalent formula can be found at tn.gov/content. The formula substitution list is pertinent to all consumers, regardless if they are a WIC participant or not. Tips for parents and caregivers are: do not dilute formulas because this can lead to chemical imbalances that can be dangerous for an infant. The FDA and American Association of Pediatrics strongly discourage using homemade formula. It could cause additional health concerns such as chemical imbalances, gastrointestinal distress, or allergic reactions. Parents should consult with their pediatrician about introducing cow's milk if their baby is close to 1 year of age. It may be a good option for a limited time, depending on your baby's age and other conditions. Parents can begin to introduce solid food beginning at 4 months of age for healthy infants. For additional nutritional support, parents can consult with their provider or American Academy of Pediatrics resources for additional information. Parents should only use FDA-regulated infant or toddler formulas, and please consult your pediatrician or local WIC office if you have questions or concerns about formula. A mother's breast milk is the best nutritional support for her baby if she is safe. And if she's able to breastfeed. Mothers are encouraged to breastfeed if possible. Families, workplaces, community spaces, and religious groups can encourage this by providing appropriate space and time to breastfeed. For more information, please contact the Bedford County Health Department at 931-684-3426. We'll be right back after these messages.
One thing about Park View, we could bring our animal out there with us.
It would have been a deal breaker if we had not been able to take Gracie.
Yeah, we would not have gone.
If you want to do something, there's something to do most of the day. And you shouldn't get bored.
I really enjoy my life here at Parkview. I really choose what I want to do. We have a wonderful library with hundreds of books that I love. It is a wonderful place.
We tend to lose our motivation when we have something that's chronic, but you've got to do what you can early on as you can. After I'd exercise like that, I would have a lot of energy to do housework or whatever I needed. Well, I would recommend it highly to anyone at any degree of Parkinson.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. The Salem Creek Band performed at the outdoor stage at South Jackson Civic Center recently, and Newsletter's Andrew Todd brought back this video.
It goes a little something like this.
Manchester Chamber of Commerce has partnered with the Manchester Art Center and Hoover Paint Store to host a Paint by Number community mural project. The project will be painted using the Manchester Art Center as the canvas. No artistic experience is necessary. Everyone is welcome. Just show up and you will be shown what to do. The project will be completed between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Saturday, June the 11th. At the Manchester Art Center, that's located at 128 East Main Street in Manchester. Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
MacArthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at MacArthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at MacArthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Fran Gray with Alzheimer's Tennessee. When you receive a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease for yourself or someone you love, please know that you do not have to go through this journey alone. Alzheimer's Tennessee is here for you to provide support and education, all the help you may need to get through this challenge. Our number is 931-434-2348. We encourage you to give us a call. We're here to help.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1953 at 99 degrees. The record low was in 1931 at 43 degrees. Average high on this day is 83 and the average low is 62. Mostly clear weather in the forecast for tonight with a low of 57. 30% chance of storms in the forecast for Friday with a high of 82 and a low of 62. That 30% chance is still in the forecast for Saturday with a high of 80 and a low of 63. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.